The Fisheries Ministry works in collaboration with the Navy. And there's an institution called the Fisheries Enforcement Unit. The Fisheries Enforcement Unit is made up of staff of the Fisheries Commission and other stakeholders such as the Navy, the Ghana Maritime Authority rep, and a rep from the Attorney Generals. So we are liaising with the Navy especially to monitor the compliance of this close season. We are depending largely on the Navy and the Fisheries Enforcement Unit to ensure compliance of the close season. We are aware of the challenges that the Navy faces, and so we do not want the Navy to have too much on their hands to do. And that's why this year we did a lot of consultations. Since last year when the close season was delayed, we did a lot of engagement with the fishermen so that it will be highly voluntary, so that it will be demand-driven, and then the Navy will not have a lot on their hands to do. But we are liaising closely with the Navy. Yes, the close season is nationwide. It's not going to be in selected areas. It's a marine management plan for the marine sector. And so it's not going to be for only selected areas, but nationwide. And why May, June? I must admit that we believe science has told us, and the fishermen themselves have also given us reasons to believe what science has told us. We work, the Fisheries Ministry is made up, and the Fisheries Commission is made up of people, fisheries scientists, largely made up of fisheries scientists. And so we work with science, we depend on science. It is true that the peak production period is within a certain period, which peaks in August. It peaks in August. So we would have expected that the close season would have been, for all the fleets, the inshore fisheries, the artisanal sector, and the industrial sector would have all agreed to do the close season in August when there's peak production. Unfortunately, the artisanal sector believes that their festivals are really important to them, and so they chose the 15th of May to the 15th of June. The reason why we agreed with what the suggestion that they came up with is that there's some minimal production around that time. And the industrial trawlers exploit heavier the resource than the artisanal sector. And so if the industrial sector is doing their close season within the peak production period, which is August to September, then we believe that there's still going to be some benefits. And so the artisanal sector have decided to do theirs during the minimal production period, and the industrial sector, which exploits heavier on the resource, have agreed to do theirs in August. And we believe that there's still going to be some benefits. So this is the beginning of a very good program, a very good program within the fisheries sector. This is the beginning where the artisanal sector will, for the first time, do a close season. So we agreed with them to do it within this period, which will make them more compliant, so that in coming years, when they see the benefits accruing, then gradually they'll be shifting towards the peak production period, and then we'll have a much bigger benefit.